to be honest, what I'm doing right now was never the plan. What people don't really understand is that the numbers on social media don't equal anything really changing in real life. I was about to graduate. I think I'd hit like maybe 50K followers on TikTok. My life is still the same. I remember in August that year, I received an email and I saw like Amazon Music and they're like,
Hi guys, it's Chelsea and I'm back with Beyond the Verse. I am super excited. I can't stop smiling. I'm sitting here with one of the best digital storytellers in the world.
oh, wow.
Best in music analyst, best in documentaries. Just amazing. You create amazing Afrobeats, all genres, hip hop, Alte, playlists. She's worked with some of the biggest media companies, Revolt, Interscope Media, Universal Music Group, and many more. So I'm so excited to be sitting here with the wonderful Elsie, not Elise.
Thank you. That was a crazy intro.
Okay.
I respect it. But thank you for having me. I'm actually really excited to be here.
So how are you finding Nigeria?
It's been cool.
Yeah.
It's been cool. I grew up here.
Yeah.
Definitely as an adult, it's different just being here. But this is the first time I'm actually working here.
Okay, yeah.
And it's been an experience. It's been, both sides.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I feel like I was one of the last people to even know you as Nigerian.
Yeah,
I just thought do you get that a lot or?
I do. I feel like I get that a lot actually. I feel like a lot of people just depending on the environment that I'm in, I tend to I wouldn't use the word code switch, but just to make sure that the people that I'm communicating with are able to understand me clearer. So I just tend to float. But yeah, people actually, I don't know why people always say, maybe are you from Barbados?
Yes,
I get
I
that
thought you were Caribbean.
what does that mean? And yeah, people think I'm American, or even Canadian people think I'm just only Canadian. But yeah,
amazing. So
I'm fully Nigerian.
So can you tell me about that? So how was it like growing up in Nigeria, and then when did you move to Canada?
Yeah. It was cool. I was born in Lagos.
Oh wow.
And honestly, I spent the first 7-8 years of my life in Lagos, and it was very cool. Honestly, I had an easy childhood, and then I moved to Abuja when I was 8, and I was there all through that into my teenage years.
Okay.
And it was just really cool growing up in Nigeria. One thing I would say is that Nigerians have a very music-centric culture where you just hear music everywhere you go.
Definitely.
So even as a small kid, 6 years, 7 years, I was just always just hearing music, and not just Afrobeats, but just hearing all types of things.
Yes.
My dad is such a big music head.
Okay.
And so he used to DJ when he was in university, and he had everything music related that you could think of, iPods, speakers, whatever. He had all of that. So just taking that in as a kid, and music just being part of some of my happiest memories. That really was it. And yeah, grew up here, moved to Canada as a teenager. I think I just turned 17 when I moved to Canada.
Yeah.
And it was a culture shock for sure.
What was the biggest culture shock, shall I ask?
That's a good question. I'll just say the way people interact with you. Nigerians are very direct. Nigerians don't really take corners. People just tell you what it is. But in Canada, people are a bit more subtle, and just the general, I'll just say the demeanor of people there, just a little bit more subtle. So in many ways, I kind of had to learn how to tone it down a little bit, even in the way I express myself and talk to people. Okay,
I wanted to ask, so you said your dad used to DJ a lot.
Yeah.
So what song would you say reminds you of him the most? When you listen to it, yes, I heard this from my dad, this is him.
Okay, that's Rhythm of the Night by The Barge.
Okay.
This band in the 80s. My dad, disco, funk, I could sing all those songs word for word because he played them so much, but definitely Rhythm of the Night by The Barge.
Yes. So I was looking at your playlist, and like I said, even when you do interviews, there's a big love for hip hop especially.
Yes.
So would you say your dad had an influence in that as well?
No.
So where did your love for hip hop begin?
I loved hip hop because hip hop was my own thing.
Okay.
My dad played a lot of funk jazz, disco. My mom mostly played gospel, but she would go into the contemporary, so the Celine Dion's, the Whitney Houston's, and that's kind of what I liked. And if you're in Nigeria, you hear Afrobeats.
Yes.
You hear everywhere. But hip hop, when I discovered hip hop, I was maybe like 11. Or 12, when I would say I really got into it, because I'd been hearing hip hop, but really got an interest in. I remember listening to Kendrick Lamar's Good Kid, Mad City, and my life was changed.
Oh my God.
It was like, I felt for the first time that my dad would not get this. My mom, back then I couldn't even play that type of music in front of them. Like, he'd be like, what are you listening to? I feel like sometimes African parents have this perception of hip hop, like, what's this? Yeah, gangsters.
Rebellious and
But for the first time, it kind of felt like I could actually dissect the lyrics. Like, I would ask myself, like, what's this guy talking about? And then, well, people might not know these days, but there was this site called A to Z Lyrics. I used to live on there, and I would go on there all the time and be like, what's this guy saying? And I would try to like dissect it and write it in my, and it was
How
the first.
old were you, sorry, when you
I was like 11, 12.
Wow.
That's when I figured out that I really liked hip hop in a different way than what I saw, because it felt like, aside from enjoying the sound of the music, I could peel back the layers, and I was a very curious kid.
Okay.
So that was like, it blew my mind, and I was always just searching, always, and it was so fun, like just discovering all those albums back then. I think Drake released Take Care, and getting into artists like Frank Ocean in 2012, and it was just so fun.
Yeah.
Just figuring out the range of what existed that I knew was exclusive to people of my generation, not my parents.
So did you and your friends all listen to music together, or was it literally just like a you in your room thing? Like, how were you experiencing hip hop music?
I was experiencing it. Most of the discoveries were by myself, but also with friends.
Okay.
Definitely friends, but I would say that, not to toot my own horn, but I could feel like I could always feel like, for a lot of my friends that would listen to music with me at that time, it felt more like they would just enjoy it on a casual level.
Okay.
But it was so deep to me.
Yeah.
It was so deep to me. I'll be taking a shower, I'll be singing lyrics. All my notebooks, I had lyrics written down. So I could always tell that it was a little bit more like extra for me. My friends used to joke in secondary school. They used to call me Kendrick. It was so funny. It was a joke. But it used to be like, this girl, you're just so obsessed with like hip hop and everything, and it's like, it's a little different from like the casual consumer.
So how did you go from at 11 years old discovering this genre, writing notes, the A to Z lyrics and stuff? How did you go from that to, okay, you moved to Canada? Did you start reviewing music while you were in Nigeria, or was it when you moved, that's when you thought, okay, this could be?
Definitely, like, to be honest, what I'm doing right now was never the plan.
Wow, okay.
It was never the plan. So I moved to Canada. I went to university. I studied computer science. Why did I study computer science? Just because I just actually didn't know what to do. And my parents were very like, they're like, we're not going to pick for you.
Okay.
Decide whatever you want to do. So I was like, okay. Everyone back then was like, this was like 2016. Everyone was like, computer science is the future. I was like, okay, I know I don't want to be a doctor.
Yes.
I want to be a lawyer. Okay, fine. Let's see what this is about. Hated it. It was really hard. No one told me the amount of math that you would do as a computer science student. No one actually talks about that, and I didn't like math. And so like I got through the degree.
Good, congratulations.
And I graduated, and then I started working. I got like a job at is this one of Canada's biggest companies called RBC, so Royal Bank of Canada. I got a job and I started working. But right before I was about to graduate, I graduated in May of 2022. Around January that year, I started feeling a lot of pressure because when you're about to graduate, a lot of people have stuff lined up. I remember there was a time that my professor in class was like, okay, how many of you are graduating this year? And I was happy. I put my hand up in the class. I'm like, yeah. And he's like, okay, so how many of you like have stuff lined up? And everyone else is like, I have this internship at Google. I have this thing at Cisco. And I was just sitting in the class like,
wow.
Okay. I don't have anything. And then I started to feel pressure, like, okay, I didn't have such a love and passion for computer science. I just didn't. Like, no matter how hard I tried to force it, I didn't. And I started feeling very just a lot of pressure. Just what am I going to do in my future that makes sense, that I'll be happy in? Because I knew, okay, I'll get a job, but like, will I be happy just doing something that I didn't care about? So I always used to talk about music, especially my boyfriend. I used to talk about music all the time. And he would always kind of like be like, you should be doing this. So I tried to have a podcast. This was like 2020 in the pandemic.
Okay.
And it was just about not music. It was about just anything. I would talk about anything on there. And it kind of faded out.
What was the name?
It was called Can We Talk?
Oh,
like,
okay.
wow. Well, if you can think of a name for a podcast, like that was probably like the most generic name ever. But it kind of phased out after a while because it wasn't about anything tailored. I think it was just so broad that it would just be hard for me to focus. So I phased that out and I was busy in school. And so with so much pushing, especially from my boyfriend and from even family members, I'll be like, well, you know so much about music. I'm like, okay, let me get on TikTok and let me see what's happening. And one of the reasons why I did that was because, and yeah, you can cut me whenever.
No, I'm enjoying it. No, it's good.
Every time I would look at people talk about music, especially like hip hop that I consumed heavily, it was never a woman. It was never a woman. I'm like, could it be that they're like, am I just weird? Or could it be that like there's no other women that really listen to this and feel it the way I feel it? There was never a woman, talk less of even being a black woman.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like being, so there was no one that looked like me. All the people that talked about music were white men and they all had the same type of voice. I'm like, what's going on here? You'd open YouTube and you want to watch a video essay on your favorite artist and it's just like they're all reading from the same script with the same tone. I'm like, this is crazy. So let me just start and see, because like there's a gap here. Let me see what I could do to fill it.
Sorry, some people won't do that. So what made you actually be confident enough to say, I'm not seeing myself, let me take that risk, even though I have no other example in front of me?
I mean, I like to think of myself as a daredevil, to be honest. I just like to do things, even though I'm scared. I believe in my biggest, like, one of my driving mentalities is do it even if you're scared. So I don't even lie that, oh, I'm confident, I'm not scared, but like, I'm scared, but it's like, what's the worst that could happen, right? So I started it, and I started putting out just videos, just talking about like songs I liked, stuff I liked.
Do you remember your first ever music video essay, should I say? Or was it even a video essay, or was it just...
It was kind of a video essay.
Okay, yeah.
I can't even, to be honest, I can't remember the exact one.
Yeah.
But I know I made a few videos. I did one on Kendrick. I did one on Kanye. I did one on Frank Ocean. And before my eyes, like, this took off. In 3 months, 2 months, it was like 50K. I'm like, huh? What? Like, what? It was like, okay, people actually kind of care.
Yeah.
You know, and then I just kept going. But till then, like, what people don't really understand is that the numbers on social media don't equal anything really changing in real life.
Sure.
So I was here, I was about to graduate. I think I'd hit like maybe 50K followers on TikTok. My life is still the same.
Yeah.
Nothing has changed, right? I graduated, I got the job. I'm just like, you know what? Let's just continue doing this. And then I remember in August that year, I received an email and I saw like Amazon Music. And they're like, we're going to pay you this much for like 5 videos. I'm like, huh? When I read the amount.
It was a good amount? Or it was, oh my goodness.
And that was probably my first proper like...
Your first deal.
I'm like, people make this type of money doing this type of work, because it was at that point it was the most money I had ever seen, like at one go, to be like, we're going to give this to you. It was like 3 months of what I would earn working somewhere, all at once. I'm like, what? And I think that was just a major... It changed things for me, because it was like I started doing this in my bedroom. Now Amazon Music is contacting me from where?
That's like the power of the power of your storytelling. I was gonna say, I know you said things didn't really change in your life, but did you ever feel affected? Like, okay, all these people know me, or they're seeing me. You know, like when you see numbers, or you see, did you start questioning? Okay, what do I post? Or I have to filter how I talk? Or you blocked it all out and kept on being authentic?
To be honest, that came later on.
Okay.
Like, I don't know. Like, honestly. And that's a mentality I want to keep. I have to strive to keep going back to. Because when I started this out, like, I don't know, I feel like when you have nothing to lose, you just do it.
Yeah.
Now I'm a bit more, I think a lot more now. I kind of second guess things. But back then it was just like, okay, we have this idea, let's do it.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think we take for granted, like, the internet makes numbers look a little crazy. I remember I saw a Beyonce concert in 2023 and there were like 50K people in that stadium. It was in Toronto. And I was like, this is 50K people. Jeez.
Yes.
And it
crazy.
felt so crazy and I felt so small in the midst of 50K people. But when you see 50K likes, it's just like, okay.
Just a number.
Like 50,000 people like my post, sure.
Yeah.
You know, I think social media has made us just see numbers as just this arbitrary thing. But like when it dawns on you that those are real people, and you kind of start to feel like, whew. Yeah. People in my personal life though, people I knew, were like, they started acting a little like, oh, now you're like,
Can we talk about
famous
can we
and
talk,
stuff.
can we talk about that? I feel like I felt something similar. Like I'm not obviously where I want to be, but when they know you as something else and then they see you in your power, in your creativity, change your life and create something new and it's blowing, certain times it just feels funny, like people feel weird. Do you feel the same thing?
100%. And to be honest, it's something I've had to like just tell myself to not even care about. Because like I know deep down, as long as I know that I'm staying true to myself, that's really what matters the most to me. A lot of people are so used to seeing you in one version of reality, and people see you when you're young and they kind of feel like they went to school with you, so they feel like this is the version of you that's supposed to be what they know. And when they start seeing that you are breaking out of that, to some people they feel a little threatened. To some people, they don't really understand. They see you one way in their mind, but now starting to see that other people are seeing you differently. Even you're seeing yourself differently. And even me, I had to learn how to see myself differently. And I think that's the part that people don't really talk about. Because like, if you're so used to seeing yourself in one way, and you start seeing people say, oh my God, I love this thing that you do. I love the way you are. Sometimes it might even take me a while to catch up. It took me a while to catch up and be like, okay, people actually mean what they're saying to me. Like, this is not a joke. You know, cut the cameras, dead ass. But people, that tends to happen. And I think it's the price of success really on any level. I think what just matters the most is that you know you're staying true to yourself, to your values, and you're not compromising that for fame, basically. I think that's the most important thing.
Amazing. So you got this amazing deal with Amazon. And did it like change your life? What would I say for you where you're like, okay, I'm no longer pursuing 9 to 5, or what happened next?
No, it wasn't instant like that. No. So by then, like, first of all, I graduated university. I wasn't financially stable in any way. So I had just gotten a job, and it's when I just got that job that I got that deal with Amazon. So one thing it did for me though, and I'm very grateful it came at that point, is that it made me understand that this job doesn't have to be my end all be all. It was like, okay, I have this job. I'm going to work this job, but like, I know that I'm not going to be here forever. I remember my first day of orientation for the job, we had this manager of the bank come in and she's like, so I've been working at this company for 30 years. I'm like, all right, bro.
Like, not me.
I'm not doing this. And I remember when we're talking about holidays and you only get 2 weeks off in the entire year. And I know somebody asked, like, when do we get 3 weeks off? Like, when do we graduate to 3 weeks? She's like, if you work here for 6 years, then you get 1 more week added. And I was just doing the math in my head. I'm like, no, like, this isn't going to be me. So from that point, I kind of made it subconscious. Then things started rolling in, like some campaigns here and there. So I was like, okay, if I want to leave this job eventually, I have to be smart about it. So what I'm going to do is that everything I earn from social media, I'm going to just save it. And whatever I was earning from my actual 9 to 5 was what I was going to use to sustain myself.
That's good.
So I just started, like, I was able to pay my rent and my bills and everything off my 9 to 5, and anything I was earning just from the socials, I was throwing into bank account and just being like, okay, when I feel like I've saved up enough, then I'll pull the plug.
Okay.
And I just had that in mind. So it made the 9 to 5, which was difficult, by the way, way more bearable.
Yeah.
A lot more bearable. Just knowing that this isn't just going to be some indefinite thing that I'm stuck in and I'm not happy with, you know.
Okay. So obviously you started getting more deals and collabs. How did you make sure that you listening to music, you enjoying music, how did you make sure that you're still actually enjoying it, like you're loving it? When you start turning your passion to now work and money is involved, and how do you separate the two? Like, I actually still want to listen to this, yeah.
No one talks about that, man. No one tells you, like, I would say, to me, I feel like that has been one of the hardest things I've ever had to deal with. Because, like, I love music, man. And then it started to feel like work. I was like, there's a problem here. Like, bruh, no one had to... I could listen to music for hours.
Yeah, same.
And then suddenly, sometimes
I just want...
you get all these links and you're like... and it's like, I don't even want... And then you have artists sending you you're one person, but a million artists are sending you, can you check out my music? Can you check out my music? Can you give me... And not just check it out, give me feedback. What do you think I need in here? What do you think I need there? And then someone is telling you, this album just dropped. And even without people telling you, you're keeping in mind the constant cycle of the industry. This person's dropping an album. This person's dropping an album. Like, it's just like, okay.
Yeah.
And then because I think there's like an expectation of Elsie to talk about the album, then you start to feel the way like, oh my God, I'm not taking in this album. And for a little while, I fell into the hamster wheel of just striving and not even enjoying music anymore.
Yeah.
And I think it was honestly, and it went on for like a year of just like, I'm not really.
So like, how did it not show in your reviews? Like when you look at your videos, like I was going through them the other day, and you always look so happy, enthusiastic, believable, and yeah.
I think, and that's so true. That just really kind of shows you that underneath, like the layers, nothing is ever like as perfect as it seems.
Yeah.
It would take me so long to like write a review on an album, and then my work rate even slowed because I would get in my own head.
That's me right now, actually.
Things that used to come so easy to me when I first started, and it's like, oh, and then I was second guessing, and I think 2024 was when I started to get myself back, and when I kind of just told myself, I need to learn how to start saying no. But everyone needs this trait. Learn how to say no.
Learn. Even me, I need to learn.
Learn how to say no. Like, the world isn't going to end.
Yeah.
The world isn't going to stop spinning. Say no. Like, and it was 2024 that I started to like take baby steps and like say no to like when I thought my plate was too full, when I thought, and that year was amazing for music. Oh my God. And so I think that's still my favorite year of this decade so far. And I started to just enjoy music again, live with albums again, and just consciously taking that step. And even now, I'm much stricter.
Yeah.
Like, some people are like, oh, we used to send you so much campaigns before. What's happening? I'm like, I need to protect my peace. I need to protect my love for music. Because if that love is taken away from me because it has turned into a job, then where does that leave me?
Yeah.
So I think there's this conscious effort that I feel like anyone that's like in this space, you have to protect your peace. You have to protect that thing you love, because once anything kind of turns into a job in a way, and once money comes, that's the issue with money, I feel. It has the potential to just ruin things that you love because you want it. So I think every creative has to sit down and ask themselves, what's more important to me? For some people, making a living is more important, just getting that money, and that's cool. Like, I can't front anybody for that, because you need money to like live and have a comfortable life. But like, I feel like there comes to a point where everyone has to ask themselves, like, what do I really want out of this? Do I want to build like this lasting career and this legacy, which might need me saying no to some stuff, even though the money is good? And I think that was hard for me to get terms with. But once I realized that, okay, I'm here to play the long game. And money can't be that motivating factor for me if I know this is where I want to go to. Then it started getting easier for me to say no to this and no to that. Even though they're like, we'll increase the price, we'll double the price. It's like, it's not about the price. It's also about my integrity. Do I want my audience to trust me? Am I just speaking about this album because you promised me $2,000 to speak about the album? Or do I really love this, and do I want my listeners to feel that love when I talk about it?
Exactly. Like, I watched a sermon and it was saying that for you to like keep the promise that God has for you, you might have to go through a certain process of letting go of. So for me, it was like people pleasing, and sometimes that process is like God will put you through a situation. So me, I was saying yes to everything, and I got so burnt out. I was not creative. I was getting angry. Like music was actually like yeah. To be honest, I love music, but I got to a point where I'm just not happy with this whole thing, and then I started saying no. And I think now that I'm in a space where I say no more, I can actually keep the promise. Like I'm doing better. I'm actually being able to fulfill my purpose because I'm better mentally and I'm at peace. So I do.
Fact. And I think there's also something like the Bible says I've been trying to like live by when it says let your yes be yes and let your no be no. And I've been trying to live by that because a lot of times I figured out I would say yes because of people pleasing. Like I just want to make this person happy at this moment that I'm talking to them. So when they ask me to do something, I'm like, absolutely. And then when I get back and it's time to actually do it, I'm like, oh my God, why did I even say yes? I don't even like this. I don't even want to talk about this. And just being more diligent in that, I feel like just stewarding even the attention that you get and everything is so important, you know.
Amazing. So I saw you had a series about like get to know your producers.
Yeah.
So how did you come about that? So how did you go from, okay, I love music, I love production, I love analysing, to actually want to know the BTS or concerts or producers or artists? Yeah, how did you start that?
So I think I'll first start with like interviews and all. God is just really, I feel like at every step in this journey, I've learned a lot through just his nudging in loud and gentle ways.
Yeah.
But when I created content for like a year, I started to feel like, okay, I've created content for a year.
Yeah.
I'm no longer working like a full-time job. I'm financially stable of this content, okay? This is cool. But I started to, and maybe this is pride, you know? Whenever people refer to me, they'd be like, the TikToker. Oh my God, I hated that. Like, I hated that so much because like deep down, I'm like, I know I have more to offer. So people would be like, oh, that TikToker. Oh, I like your stuff, the TikToker. Over and over again, I'm like, I need to break out of this label. I don't like this label. I feel like it just reduces what I know I'm capable of. And looking back, it's so funny because that was what I was doing. I was making TikToks. But I think it's that nudging that God put in my spirit, knowing that, yes, you're here, but don't get comfortable.
Okay.
Like, you're here, but like dream bigger. And I always thank God for surrounding me with the right people that like, okay, that's good and all, but you can aim for something. And it's like, okay, maybe I want to start doing artist interviews. But where do you start from? I remember I was actually in Nigeria the summer of 2023.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'm going to start doing artist interviews. Cool. I started cold emailing. I think I emailed like 60 artists in one day. And I'm not talking, like, I was being realistic. I didn't say Rihanna, Beyonce. I was emailing like up and coming artists. And I kid you know, I got 0 replies.
Like all of the, and
at that point, it really humbled me because I had like, what, 300K followers? Wow. And it really humbled me at that point because I was like, damn, maybe this doesn't really like mean as much as I thought it would mean. And back then I had so many relationships with A&Rs, producers, people in the industry, but they still didn't see me as anything beyond
TikTok.
Make TikToks for us. You want to talk to the artist? You could talk about their music. We'll pay you to talk about their music, but to talk directly to them, no. Like, who do you think you are? Like, where are you coming from? And I prayed and I told God, like, bruh, I've done what I can. Like, I've done everything in my own power. I've emailed every artist. I've spoken to people. Ain't no one wants to give me this opportunity. So you have to be the one to make the way. Like, I literally told God that. Like, I remember praying, I'm like, you have to open this door for me because I'm kicking this door. I'm punching this door. It's not opening. And I remember it was September of 2020. Wow, 2023. And I was just chilling. And then I get this message from my friend that's a fellow, like he'd been doing this longer than me though. And he'd been interviewing artists before. And he's like, Elsie, are you in Toronto? And I'm like, yeah, I'm in Toronto. And he's like, are you available next week? I'm like, what are you inching towards? And he's like, yeah. He's like, oh, would you like to interview Amare?
Oh my
goodness. And I never told him that I wanted to do interviews. So like
just seamless. Like when it's God's timing,
it just fell into my
seamless. Yeah.
like, and I'm like, huh?
Wow.
And like I was such a huge fan of Amare, like huge. So it was like, there's no way that you're presenting me with this opportunity. Like, huh?
Yes.
Wow. And then he just recommended me for it. He spoke about R&B. He was like, I'm an R&B commentator. Doesn't really make sense for me to talk about Amare. I don't know too much about her, but I know you know a lot about her because you'd made content about her.
Yeah.
And it just fell into my lap.
Wow.
That was my first interview.
Wow. And now look.
And it was like, I remember telling Amare that day, I'm like, this is my first interview. She's like, I couldn't even tell because you were such a natural at it. And then people now saw that first interview, and then a few people that emailed now got back to me like, oh, we saw your interview with Amare. We'll give you an interview. And then it just started working. But like I said, I always say that, like, if anyone tells you, like, I feel like God's grace has been so heavy upon me because I know for a fact that I didn't get here by my own power. Schoolboy Q, why would I interview Schoolboy Q? That was my fourth ever interview. Why should I ever, why should that be me? And I remember that day I was in the gym and I was listening to his new album that dropped, and my spirit told me, just tweet about the song. Why would my spirit tell me that? I just tweeted about it in the gym. And then he just quoted the tweet, DM'd me, I'd like you to come to LA and interview me. Things that don't make sense, but I feel like it's just being prepared for the opportunity that God brings your way, and just trusting him. Like, if I had written a script that this is how I wanted my career to pan out, the way I'd envisioned it, it would never have been as good as what God had in mind.
Exactly.
And I think I've been keeping, I've just been keeping that in mind. And honestly, he's just been expanding the way for me, and I'm learning hard and easy.
Yeah. Amazing.
You know, I'm still striving, and God keeps telling me at several points, stop striving. Like, let me
align with me, walk with me. Yes.
Right.
Like, it's just been such an honor to have you here and like hear your story. And like you said, preparation, opportunity, like it all just meets, and obviously your hard work as well, and just God's grace. And I'm just so excited to see you do big things, especially in film. Like, I saw a documentary you produced with a Canadian rapper, and I was like, this is beautiful. Like, seeing the throwbacks of him, like the storytelling, everything you do just looks so polished and clean, and you're inspiration to me and so many women in this industry.
So
I
love what you do too.
Thank you.
Seeing what you were doing and seeing that, I always notice when it's another black woman, I'm like, wow, okay, this is great. And just seeing how you have carved out your own niche. And even sometimes when I'm listening to music and I hear those little details, seeing someone actually talking about those little details, like, did you hear those drums, or did you hear those keys, or did you hear that? Like, I love when people talk about that because it shows that you're really just consuming and not, you know, the calculator consumers these days.
The microwave reviews. No.
So it makes it feel like you care, and I love that. And I feel like that's something you should just really keep with you, because it's very beautiful to watch someone that really cares.
Thank you so much. I wish I had more time, because I can literally just carry on picking your brains, but it was amazing to talk with you.
Thank you so much.
Where can everyone find you, and like what should you look forward to seeing from you this year? Talk to the camera maybe. On
all socials, it's Elsie, not Elise. YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. What's the other one? TikTok?
Yeah.
Not
a TikToker, so.
Definitely. You can find me across all channels. My interviews live mostly on YouTube, but if you want to talk more with me, like directly, I think Twitter, X is the best way to actually reach me. I'm doing a lot of cool stuff on IG too, and of course on TikTok. I still post short form content on there. So yeah, there's a little bit of everything for everybody.
Amazing. Well, it was lovely talking to you. I hope you enjoy the rest of your stay here.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Okay, bye guys. Thank you for watching Beyond the Verse. Let me give you a hug.